Hi, this is John Isles and welcome to Geometer's Paradise. Today we're looking at Unit 5, Lesson 2, and I'm going to split these videos up into two parts. I think it's probably likely that class will end up split in two as well. For the honors, perhaps. For the regular, definitely. And what we're going to do in this first video is we're going to look at these three objectives. First, you will be able to cite the parallel transversal theorems. Second, you will be able to calculate angle measurements using the parallel transversal theorems. And finally, you will be able to build and solve equations using the theorems. Alright, so the four transversal relationships are as follows. Now, of course, we have the classics, right, that we don't include in this list. We have vertical angle relationships, and we have linear pairs. But the new ones are corresponding angles, we have corresponding angles, we have alternate interior angles, we have alternate exterior angles. Remember, these are the ones that are on opposite sides of the transversal and outside the lines. And we have consecutive interior angles. These are the angles that are inside the two lines and on the same side as of the transversal, which is different from alternate interior, which is the ones where they're on opposite sides of the transversal and between the lines. So four angle relationships: corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, and consecutive interior angles. Alright, so something special happens when the two lines that are being crossed by the transversal are parallel. So if A is parallel to B and T is a transversal, then all of the angles formed by T as it crosses A and B start to have special relationships. Corresponding angles are congruent. Actually, I'm going to switch colors here. I like the yellow better. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. And consecutive interior angles are... Notice how I moved? They're supplementary. They are not congruent. Alright, you can actually tell that by looking at them. Here's 4 and 6. 4 is clearly an acute angle. 6 is clearly an obtuse angle. These angles are going to sum up to 180 degrees. Right? We'll prove that later. In fact, we'll prove all of these later. But corresponding angles are congruent, alternate interior angles are congruent, alternate exterior angles are congruent, and consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Alright, we're going on an angle hunt. And what we're going to do is we're given that this angle measurement is 70 degrees. We want to calculate all the rest of them, and there's like a billion ways to do this. You can use all kinds of different theorems. You can use vertical angles, you can use linear pairs, you can use corresponding angles, you can use alternate interior angles, you can use alternate exterior angles, and you can use consecutive interior angles. All of these are options. Alright? But and you could do them in any order you want. But I give you a specific order. Okay? And if I give you a specific order, what I want you to do is use the last angle to generate the next angle. So angle 8 needs to be generated by the 70 degrees. So 70 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. Those are equal, which means that 8 has a measure of 70 degrees because it is an alternate exterior angle. So this is the alternate exterior angle theorem, add the t on there to invoke the theorem. Okay, so alternate exterior angle theorem. Alright, now 4. That's from 8. So from 8 to 4, these are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are congruent, so the measure of 4 is 70. The corresponding angles, and this is actually, we'll call it a theorem, but it's really a postulate, the cat theorem. Okay, this is an I eat theorem. Alright, I eat because I'm hungry. Alright, angle 5. From 4 to 5, this is alternate interior. Alright, so 5 is also 70 degrees. And AIAT. This theorem is the I theorem because, you know, I'm feeling I right now. 5 and 3 are consecutive interior angles. They sum to 180. So we're actually going to go 180 minus 70 here. The measure of angle 3 is 110 because of the consecutive interior angles theorem. I don't have a special name for this one yet. It's just the CIAT theorem. Okay? I suppose you could call it the top secret theorem, right? CIA. Alright, from 3 to 6, 3 and 6 are alternate interior. So angle 6 is going to be 110 degrees. That's the I theorem again. And then from 6 to 2, 6 and 2 are corresponding angles. So angle 2 will be 110. Corresponding angles theorem is the cat theorem. And then angle 2 to angle 7 are alternate exterior angles. Those are congruent as well. So this is also 110. And this is the I eat theorem. Okay, generating equations. Alright, here's how this works. You have two angles. What kind of angles are these? These are corresponding angles. And if A and B are parallel, then the corresponding angles are congruent. So we're actually missing a given here, but the given would be that A is parallel to B and that T is a transversal. Okay? And then what I can do is I can say, hey, 3x plus 10 is equal to 7x minus 6 because these are corresponding angles. This is the corresponding angles theorem. Alright? The two angles are equal. Cat. And then we solve 4x. So subtracting, whoops. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. We get 4x minus 6. We'll add 6 to both sides. We get 16. Okay, and we divide both sides by 4. We find out that x is 4. Alright, this is the cat theorem. Check it real quick. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 10 is 22. That is clearly not a 22 degree angle. Oh boy. This is 3 years ago me, and 3 years ago me was clearly not very careful. 7 times 4 is 28, minus 6 is 22. Okay, so both of these are good, but this is probably more like a 122 degree angle than it is any kind of 22 degree angle. So, oops. Alright. Alright, so here's this next one. Okay, again, A is parallel to B, and T is a transversal of A and B. These are consecutive interior angles, so they're not equal to one another. This is something like 5x plus 10x plus 30 equals 180. You can see the two individual angles here. 5x is the top angle. I thought I changed that to green. Let's try that again. I totally hit it. It just didn't switch color. There. Here's your first one. Here's your second one. Okay. So we're combining like terms now. 5x plus 10x is 15x plus 30, which is equal to 180. 15x is equal to 150, which means x is equal to 10, and this one actually makes a little more sense. 5 times 10 is 50, 10 times 10 is 100, plus 30 is 130, 50 plus 130 is 180. Okay, so this picture makes sense, or at least more sense than the last one did. Alright, so there you go. That's the end of this particular first lesson, and that should get you through practice sets 1, 2, and 3 of the 5-2 lesson document.